Right back in October 2013, the Directorate decided to invite all the early career researchers who were involved in the BESS research programme to come along to York and have a meeting and have some training and get involved with stuff. And the Directorate kind of challenged this group of enthusiastic people to see if they could come up with their own network and decide what they wanted to do in terms of their training and the types of science as well that they'd like to be doing in the future. So we were really keen on them deciding what they were going to do themselves, but we were completely blown away with the actual results. So I know that Dave kind of put this challenge to them and said, right, you can have £10,000 worth of Directorate money if you put forward a grant proposal about what your activities are going to be for the next few years. And we were just blown away with what they actually managed. It was incredible. So they formed a network and they voted in some officers who would organise different activities within the network. And after much deliberation and a lot of logo drawing and coloured pencils, they decided that their name was going to be NRG BESS, which stands for Next Research Generation BESS. And also conveniently sounds a bit like energy, and there certainly is a lot of energy in the room when you get this group of people together. And they also drew a beautiful logo, but they certainly didn't stop there. The officers who they voted in, it was all very democratic. They put an incredible amount of work into this network and setting it up. So we had a training officer, Kate Wade, and she's been polling all the members of NRG BESS about what type of training they really need to support their PhDs. And then we also invited postdocs to join as well. So we've got both PhD students and postdocs who are involved in the BESS network now. And they've done some training, for example, in GIS that happened recently. And then we've also got an outreach officer, Lydia Bach, and she's been working on outreach and communications. And right back in the beginning at this first meeting, everyone decided that it would be amazing if they could run their own conference completely independently. And we knew this was a tall order, but actually this is what they did. They sat down and they planned a budget for the whole year for all their activities, and they worked out how much they were going to give to all the different training, meeting activities. And Sarah and Salwa managed to hold a fantastically successful conference in Southampton just a month ago, and it attracted not just NRG BESS members and not just people from the UK, but also people from overseas. They managed to get extra funding in order to help these early career researchers who are working in ecosystem services to come over. And for many of these early career researchers, this was their first conference. This was the first time that they'd delivered their research. So in April, BESS had its large annual science meeting, and we also put a day on that for NRG BESS, for the early career researchers. And during that day, they continued the work that they'd started back in October in talking about where they wanted to go next and what their priorities were. NRG BESS isn't only for people who are directly funded by BESS, it's also for all early career researchers who are doing work that related to BESS aims. So I think they're really hoping that this network can continue beyond the BESS programme itself, and that this will be a really supportive network for researchers working in ecosystem services and biodiversity into the future.